Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play. We're gonna head right back into Elite Zoo South. I am very excited, so excited that I nearly clicked the close zoo button there again, just mouse overshot that resume button. I am, now with my heart rate just racing, very excited for today's session. I think I mentioned this last session that chances were that we were going to be adding a new animal today, one that I've been very excited for, one that I've had plans for, and that I got a great nugget of information about a long time ago that I've been kind of holding in my back pocket because I liked it so much that I wanted to use it. And I'm sure the thumbnail and the episode title has given away what the animal is. And I will not be able to help myself with regards to the pun possibilities in the punsibilities, I guess, with this particular name. So I'm sure I've given it away, but yeah, it's something I've thought about for a very long time, and I might have to actually give away the next animal I'll be adding as well, because it ties into the decision over here, which is part of that nugget I was telling you about. So, you know, whatever. I like to try and keep things a bit of a surprise, but this time around, it pretty much will be a surprise, because the plan is, it's close enough to a surprise, because the plan is, today we're going to be adding this animal. Our next session, we'll be doing a bit of a beauty pass kind of a thing. We're going to be adding those sponsor boards. Again, I saw many requests come through in the comments of the previous episode. I've got all that noted down, so thank you very much. And I will be implementing those next episode. Apart from that, next episode, if I'm not mistaken, is a pretty major milestone as well. Now, I do have some plans for that. I have some episode 100 plans. They aren't a tour, partly because I've been trying to do this kind of touring thing every episode, just to try and get some eyes, you know, around the zoo, just to see everything, just so we don't have to do a tour. The reason why I'm thinking about not doing a tour is because it does take it takes a fair bit of time. It can take up to an entire hour, especially at this scale. And I just wonder if we wouldn't rather see more progress in adding animals, if we wouldn't rather see more progress in developing more spaces and things like that, because we've gone on for, you know, at that point we will have gone on for 100 episodes and we'll still not be anywhere near finishing. And so there's something to think about there, something to balance out there. And also I feel like we've done tours relatively recently, and, you know, pretty much almost every session we have like a mini tour as well, like we're doing right now. But I would love to hear your opinions on that matter as well. Like, would you rather I do a tour, or would you rather well, it's kind of hard to share an opinion when you don't know the other half, but I do have something special planned that I think it goes beyond a tour. It would be a bit more involved, I guess. It would have tour-like vibes, I suppose you could say, but it wouldn't be us sitting down and going around and looking at everything and or anything like that. I don't know. I'm torn, and I realize that it's a hard call to make without knowing exactly what the other option is. But basically, I guess the question is this: who wants a tour next episode? Who wants to see other kinds of progress next episode? I guess that's what it boils down to, because the other thing I have planned would not eat up as much time as a tour, and so I'd have time to do other stuff like regular types of development. And I guess I'd love to hear, you know, your opinion, where you stand with regards to how badly you really want a tour to happen next episode, so I can make a decision based on that. Personally, I'm thinking what I have planned, the other thing I have planned, is the way to go. But of course, if everybody in the comments is just like, no, do a tour, it's been so long, we should do another tour, then, you know, that's obviously something I'll consider very seriously, and potentially allow that to determine what happens next time. Sorry, I know I thought it'd be a lot easier to communicate my plans there, but as I was communicating them, I realized, like, wait a second, it'll be a hard thing to make a call on, I guess. But hey, that's life sometimes, right? But jokes aside, I am thoroughly excited, as I was saying, for what we're going to get up to today's session. Adding a new animal. adding one that I've been waiting on for so very long. Next session, we're going to be doing this beauty pass and, celebrating this major milestone in one way or another. And then the session after that, hopefully, if all goes smoothly, session after that, adding the other animal that I might need to allude to today. And then the session after that is going to be, I'm pretty sure, trying to make, sort of fixing up the two enclosures that we're making in pretty quick succession. Like, how I try to go back and finish an enclosure off, like a new enclosure off in a follow-up episode. So it's probably going to be that. And then, we're picking up the pace. We're making a lot of progress lately. With that said, I need to make some serious considerations with regards to how I execute this space, how I move forward with this space, because it's a pretty tight area of the zoo, and it might not go as smoothly as I'd hoped now that I'm looking at it. And that's going to be a fun part of the challenge here today. We'll figure it out. But folks, let's go ahead, take a look at the Zoopedia entry, take a look at all the little details, and then we'll dive into the time lapse. Again, I do apologize if I rambled on for a little bit too long there in the opening, but there's so much to talk about right now with regards to the new animal we're adding, with regards to how that fits in, with regards to where we are over the course of the series, coming up on a major milestone, what to do for that. There's just so much to talk about. So I apologize, but I also want to thank you for your patience with when I go on somewhat relevant tangents. I mean, these weren't tangents; these were relevant. But anyway, keeping myself on that tangent over here, let's pull back over to the bonobo. That is the animal we'll be adding in today. The paniscus, I'm guessing is how that's said, or it could be the paniscus. No, it's got to be the paniscus, I imagine. Anyway, they are an endangered species. Population wild is between 29,500 and 50,000, which it's well, I guess once we flip over to the natural habitat, we'll get a better idea of the spread of this as well. But the bonobos, or paniscus, live in the forests and wetlands of the Democratic Republic of Congo and are most closely related to the common chimpanzee, or pan troglodytes. Out of any species in nature, these two types of apes have the most DNA in common with humans. Bonobos have pink lips and dark forward-facing eyes, small ears, a flat nose with wide nostrils, as well as black hair. Male bonobos are larger than females, averaging 29 inches to 33 inches tall and weighing 86 pounds, whereas a female stands 28 inches to 30.4 inches tall and weighs 68 pounds. They are very playful and peaceful creatures, are rarely aggressive towards each other, and have never been known to kill each other. They live in a matriarchal society where females dominate, and the status of males is dictated by the status of their mother. How cool is that, man? Like, they're not only, like, some of the similarities they share to humans clearly go well beyond the genetics, right? Like, just the status of like familial status. What a concept! What a concept for bonobos to have. God, it blows my mind. I love the Zoopedia. It just blows my mind. Bonobos are endangered due to the habitat loss and being poached for bushmeat. Various conservation efforts are being made to preserve the animals and their habitats. The UN and WWF, among others, are monitoring and protecting bonobos, especially within areas that have been designated as national parks. These organizations are also educating locals on the apes and providing them with jobs in These organizations are also educating locals on the apes and providing them with jobs in national parks. Okay, I see. Encouraging long-term respect for their environment and reducing dependence on the bushmeat trade. Okay, okay. I read that was a little confusing for a second. Heads up, I'm a little tired today from our celebratory stream earlier this week. It still will have been. And getting the new website up and getting all the new stuff done to celebrate our 5-year mark. If you haven't seen the channel announcement video, I'll put it in the pinned comment down below. Check out that channel announcement video from earlier this week. Huge things happened earlier this week for the channel. but I'm definitely feeling the brick wall that my head hit in getting all that done. So that resulted in me reading this in a very confusing manner, where I thought it was saying that these organizations were educating locals on the apes and providing the apes with jobs in national parks. And immediately my brain went to the conversation we've had in the comments a little bit about the cheetahs and how dogs are used to make cheetahs feel a bit more comfortable. So my brain immediately went to like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, what kind of jobs? Yeah, because that's a job. Like, that's a job for a dog. That's a dog with a job, right? So I was like, what kind of jobs do bonobos have? It doesn't sound as silly as when you like think about it, but it definitely caught myself doing a triple take there. Yeah, okay. They mean education for locals and jobs for locals in national parks, encouraging long-term respect for your environment and reducing dependence on the bushmeat trade. It is not jobs for bonobos, though I'm sure they could take on jobs. Like, these are intelligent animals, and like I was saying, right? Like we use dogs are working animals. We have lots of working animals. I wouldn't be surprised if we find a way to make bonobos get I don't know, get some work done. Enough monkeys, enough typewriters in a locked room, you know? All right. I still can't believe my head went there. Okay, right? Africa, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, very centralized. So a pretty, compared to some of the other endangered animals we've seen, a pretty dense population, which is why I was kind of mentioning, like, I kind of want to see how spread out their habitat is. Now, I know it's you know, the DRC, but I was just like, well, it could be primarily the DRC, but it could also be like, you know, parts elsewhere, but seems to not be the case. No, it is just the Democratic Republic of the Congo, of course, tropical biome. They don't need too much space, so we should be fine there. They do need climbing, of course. No water requirements. In fact, that's they live near the Congo River. I believe it's just called the Congo River, and that plays a key role in their evolution. And so the fact that they don't need water is not just a don't need, I guess, but in my head it triggers the thought of in some cases they don't swim in deep waters, for example, especially. So yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, okay, that's not too much space. We might be able to make this work. I really hope I am able to make this work. Might need some adjustments, but should be able to make this work. All right. Group size, excluding juveniles, 3 to 10, up to 7 males, up to 7 females. That's where things start to get like, okay, we need more than just the minimum amount of space. Because I want to have a nice, troop? What would it be called? Oh, I'm sure we'll find out shortly. I'd like to have a nice number of them, but we'll see what's possible. The bachelor group sizes, 3 to 10, either male or female. Dominance is matriarchal. Mating system is promiscuous. Relation with humans is confident, but guests cannot enter the habitat. I'd love to hang out with bonobos one day. It's too bad guests can't enter the habitat. I imagine, even though they're not violent, like, between each other, I imagine they can get quite aggressive against other species, right? Size is 3.5 feet tall when standing for both of them. Life expectancy is 40 years for both of them, males and females when I say both of them. Weight is 88 pounds and 66 pounds. So a slight difference between males and females as far as average weights are concerned. Sexual maturity at 11 years. Wow. Sterility at 50 years. So I guess, you know, beyond death or beyond the average life expectancy, there's a certain point where sterility kicks in, or fertility dies out, I guess is the way to phrase that. Sterility doesn't necessarily kick in. Does it? Anyway, number of offspring per mating event is 1. 8 months gestation incubation period. It's very similar. Interbirth period of 60 months, and reproduction in captivity is very easy. Oh man, baby bonobos, I'm excited. I'm excited. Social needs. Bonobos are extremely social, peaceful animals with strong bonds with each other, always living in close-knit groups. They help each other to forage, sharing food evenly among the group, and also help each other raise their young. Bonobos are very tactile creatures and will be extremely physically affectionate towards each other. As a result, they're often described as the hippies of the animal world and can definitely be characterized by the phrase, "make love, not war." This is amazingly written. I love it. Who wrote this? I love this. Reproduction. Bonobos are promiscuous animals. That segue. Boom. I love it. I love it. This is so well done. Bonobos are promiscuous animals, so much so that all mature members of the group will mate with each other regardless of their age and sex. This means it is usually unknown which males fathered which offspring. This is thought to be why bonobo males are gentle towards babies, and also how their communal style of living has evolved. A bonobo mother will be pregnant for 8 months and give birth to one baby, which she will care for closely until the baby is around 4 years old. The males stay with their mother's group throughout adulthood, whereas bonobo females will leave in search of an unrelated group, of course, where they can dominate and be the matriarch. That's very interesting. And, I mean, yeah, that phrase, I guess living up to that phrase as well. Okay, cool. Cool. Moving on. Research status, of course, we don't have any of the fun facts or anything. Mirror Mobile, the musical keyboard, some drums. Ooh, tool puzzle feeder. That'll be a fun one to have. Good stuff. All right, so there's some interesting options available. At least the one that's that I don't think we've made yet. I don't think we've had the tool puzzle feeder anywhere yet, so that'll be fun to kind of see in action. As far as interspecies enrichment, none. They cannot. They do not benefit from sharing space with other species. Now, something that's going to come into play here is that just because they don't benefit from sharing space with other species doesn't mean that they cannot share space with other species. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to... Like, okay, like you can't put a lion where you also have your zebras and giraffes, because that's going to, you know, that's not going to work out. But you can put... I'm just trying to think of an example. You can put, let's say, 2 herbivores together that won't compete for the same space or what have you. So it's very possible, and I'm not sure, but it's very possible that the bonobo and the other animal I have planned as its like kind of pairing might be able to share space. Not get any benefits from it, but they might still be able to share space, which would give us more room to play. And that's something I'm going to have to try and figure out. I'll see if I can figure that out and make adjustments accordingly. Maybe you know, 2 sessions down the line, because again, next session we're doing the beauty pass and the sponsor boards and all that kind of stuff. So maybe the session down the line, by then I'll be able to kind of work around that information. All right, cool. I mean, that's Zoopedia read. We could take a look really quickly at animal trading and just see. First of all, you know, I'm gonna make it a habit to check my rewards first. Many of you suggested that I move my rewards into the trade center. The only reason I don't want to do that's very smart. However, the only thing I'm concerned about with doing that is I will inevitably at one point when I'm doing like a trade session or something, I'll just be like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and you know, trade you out for, let's say, whatever low price. Like I can totally see myself, you know, a few weeks down the line when we have to put in a replacement female cheetah, being like, oh, Fabio, yeah, I don't know, great stats, let's go ahead and trade you out. You know, and I would, same thing with Rishi. I feel like I would start forgetting, and that's a bad idea. So I just need to get into a different habit, which is check my rewards first, and then go over to the animal market to make my picks. And hopefully, I'll be able to remember to do it like that. The bonobo. Let's go and see. Okay, not that many options. Both from Frontier Zoo. We could get a baby, who is very much not a baby, but we could get a baby here. Yeah, decent stats. Just before somebody else picks them up, you know? And let's go ahead and put you in our quarantine up over here. By the way, as I come over here, I think some of you have brought up a very good point in the comments again, as y'all tend to. But I think it might be time to put down some more research facilities. We have a fair number of vets. I do want to make sure vets are also going around and keeping an eye on animals. But I might need to hire some more vets and get another research facility down up over here. Like, you'll remember by the Pygmy Hippo, we do have some staff facilities, which is great. But if we put down a vet facility up over here as well, like a research facility up over here, then we'd be able to, you know, hurry our research along as well. Because even if we just have 3 vets doing research, let's say, if they're all coming down to the same spot over here, where are we? Which one of these is my research lab, actually? You look like a research lab. Nope, that's veterinary surgery. Is that where the... Anyway, look, it's irrelevant where I need to go. Point being, if 3 vets are going to the same spot to do research, sometimes they'll be slowed down by people already using that space up. Whereas if I have multiple spots for them to do their research, they'll be moving to said multiple spots to do their research, which is Much better. Hope I was clear there. Anyway, I might want to put one of those down somewhere up over here or something, because it's a pretty accessible location, I think. With that said, folks, no more time to waste, no more time for rambles. We know which animal we're putting in. We know roughly which area we're putting them in, like into. So let's go ahead and dive on in, I think, yeah, to a time-lapse. Just taking a quick look at my notes and looking around to get any reminders for myself. Oh, you know what? Yes. Haha. See, this is why I do this. I know a couple of times I've been asked to stop being quote unquote dramatic when I pop into the time lapse. I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything. Though there is a time and a place for everything. I'm not trying to be dramatic. It's just I'm literally going through my notes and taking a moment to make sure I've got everything, because things like this happen where I realize, oh no, there was something I wanted to do really quickly. In this particular case, what I want to do really quickly was go to the loo, and get some names down over here. I got some excellent suggestions, and these two pair very nicely. We have the, well, no, not the Hapu, the Hippu, right? Or the classier version, the Hippopotamidae. There you go, bam. I think the suggestion was to use one or the other, but I love the idea of there being the washroom and the one that's a little bit classier. I'm actually tempted to charge for this one, and have it actually be classy on the inside just because of that joke. But I'll think about that. I have to think about that. Anyway, folks, with that done, it is most definitely time to dive into our time lapse. So yeah, without further ado, folks, it's time lapse time. All right, folks, I am really quite pleased with how this time-lapse plays out. I will be completely transparent with you. I don't manage to accomplish everything I'd wanted to accomplish today, but with that said, I get it to a really nice spot, I think, where the end goal is very clear and visible, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time, and I'm really quite pleased with how some of the things I was nervous about going into this time-lapse end up working out very smoothly. You can see me kind of like figuring out how things are going to play out over here, drawing out the lines of how to divide this space, because this one space, is going to be split up into two enclosures. And to get the enclosure to work, I need the river to be, or to get the idea to work, I guess, I need the water to kind of create a north-south divide, as it were. It wasn't necessary, but I thought it would work nicely, and I'll explain why at a later time. But it does work out. That was one thing I was nervous about, and we end up with enough space, actually. So this makes me very pleased to see, and I'm very excited for the future of this space, and very excited for how today's time lapse ends up as well, because we do make a lot of progress. Again, even though we didn't get it all done, we got a lot done, and it sets us up for success down the line as we kind of tackle with the pathing and stuff over here to make space for everything we need in this area. Now, as all this is happening, I am very happy to share as well a couple of stories once more that inspired the construction of this space. The primary people that I was sort of looking at as a source of ideas and concepts were the Mogandu people. Now, I've seen their like name be written as Mogandu as well as Mongandu, like with that extra N in there. But it seems like Mogandu is more correct. Now, if I'm wrong, if somebody knows better, please feel free to correct me. But I'm going to go ahead with Mogandu, because I saw that in more places. So these are a people who are indigenous to the DRC, and they are. Though it's funny seeing them referred to as the people of Zaire, I guess. But they are. One of the things that drew me to them as the ideal pick for this. As the ideal kind of source of inspiration is that in their own folklore, apart from a variety of stories that are quite interesting and fun, they believe that the ancestors of humans, i.e. the bonobos, once lived as brothers among the Mogandu people. And because of that bond, because of that kinship, if I were to quote my source directly, because of that kinship, the Mogandu strictly prohibit the killing of bonobos in their forest. And that ties in, I thought, nicely with what we just read with Zoopedia. And I thought it was, I thought it was a nice kind of like starting point for me to look into a certain people, because there is a great variety of people living in this space. It's a very large part of the world. It's a very saying it's very populous might sound strange considering the population densities in other parts of the world, but it is a very varied space, a very densely populated space in that sense, in the sense of like the cultures that are available to look into. But I thought the Mogandu people would work quite nicely, and there are a couple of stories that we actually touch on in in sort of a visual metaphor kind of a way, I guess. So one is actually with regards to why the bonobo lives in the forest. Initially, a long time ago, the bonobo and humans lived together as one. They were the same. They were the same. They were. It was like your neighbor. They were the same. And they lived together, and they were all having a wonderful time together, and they all ran around naked, and this is a long time ago, and they just chill together, hunt together, play together, all that kind of stuff. But one day, a raffia palm tree came to the village and offered a part of its own husk, and the village elders were very happy with this gift that they received from the raffia palm, and they turned this gift, I guess, into cloth. And so all the men and women were very excited by this gift. They started covering up, using this cloth. However, at the time that they were doing this, the bonobo was out in the forest and was busy with something. I forget exactly what it was, but was busy in the forest. And when the bonobo came back, he's very confused. He's like, the entire village has changed. We used to run around naked, enjoying nature and dancing and playing, but now everyone here is covered up. It's all so different. And so he asked the village elder, like, hey, what's going on? And the village elder was like, oh, well, this is what happened. And so the bonobo was like, oh, cool. Can I get one? Like, I'd like a piece of cloth too, so I can be the same as you. Now I have that song stuck in my head. But so I can be, just like you, as it were. And the village elder was like, well, unfortunately, we've run out of the palm. I think it was the husk, maybe it was the leaves, but we've run out of material to make cloth with. So I'm sorry. But the bonobo was obviously upset. He was, slighted. He's been ignored. He was forgotten just because he was out in the forest. He's still part of the village and the family, so he was very upset. And he's like, he was basically like, okay, fine. If that's how it's going to be, then I'll just stay naked, I guess, and I'll just go in the forest, because I'm not gonna run around naked in the village when all you are covering up. So, fine. I guess I'll go to the forest and I'll live naked. And so the bonobo moved to the forest. And so we have this like upper level where I wanted to kind of feel like densely forested, and this lower level where I wanted to feel a bit more constructed, to be like representative of the village from which the bonobo, the village that the bonobo left, and over to the forest that it went to. And on top of that, I tried to integrate the solar panels as well, because the bonobo, I think it's the same story. Now, if anybody knows better, please, correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I found a couple of sources before I wanted to share the stories, but there's always room for, there's various sources and various retellings. So if you know a different version, or if I've got some details wrong, please don't hesitate to correct me. And you can look these stories up as well. If you look up why the bonobo lives in the forest at bonobo.org, you'll find, actually, just, if you go to bonobo.org/stories-and-songs, you'll find some of these stories. But with that said, so the other story, and I'm not sure if it's a continuation of the same story, but it sounds like it, is that on the way out, the bonobo wanted to take something with him to kind of keep comfortable in the forest, because he's about to go live there forever. And so he went to scoop up some fire, so he could use fire to keep himself warm in the forest. And he went into one of the village elders' homes and tried to get the fire to take it with him. But what was going on is the elder was using white ant's nest to act as a heating stone. But because it was glowing next to the fire, the bonobo thought, well, that was the fire, and so he scooped up the nest and took it with him into the forest, which is why a lot of the time we see bonobo like smashing, like piling up white ants' nests and smashing them up because they're trying to make a fire in the forest because of their, you know, comforts they once had. And I thought, well, I don't want to put a fire next to actual trees, but the idea of energy, right? Fire, energy, right? Like heat is a source, is a transference of energy types and whatnot. So that idea I kind of like translated into the solar power panel, sorry, and kind of played off of that. So again, it's not a one-to-one, but it can't be a one-to-one. I don't want fires next to wooden logs and trees, and animals and fire, you know, historically don't, you know. So I thought I'd adapt that to something that would actually maybe work in the space and it would tie into the conversation. So yeah, a couple of ideas, a couple of sources of inspiration that I quite enjoyed. And again, the website I mentioned is just one of many kind of spots that I looked up some of these stories, but it's the one that I feel like tells them in the most fun way. And they included sources as well, if memory serves me right. And I just thought I'd share. There was one other story with regards to how the people learned to eat various types of meat because of a bonobo actually rescuing a human who was starving and stranded, I think in the forest it was. But that one doesn't really play into our enclosure as much. But you can find it at that website I mentioned. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoy the space and the stories that come with it. I'm quite pleased with the space. I'm quite pleased with the learning opportunity as well. I always am. I always seek out this kind of stuff, and I think it's created a fun little space for us here today with some fun integrated stories. But folks, that is it for the time lapse today. I hope you had a good time. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know. Leave that like down below. It makes a massive difference. But on that note, back to regular speed. Alright folks, we are back from the time lapse and it's actually working out. I am quite pleased. I was maybe a bit more nervous than I was letting on, and as I was heading into that time lapse about how this place may or may not work as I'd intended like initially. I say initially, but like, you know, as I eventually intended to use it. And then when I loaded in today, I was like, oh no, this might not work. But you know what? It's working. It's working. It's getting there. It feels a little incomplete, and that's because it is a little incomplete. I was struggling with a couple of things here and there. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, that fatigue and the associated fuzzy brain was definitely coming through. I was struggling with a couple things, and I wanted to do some things that are different from my usual as well. I've been enjoying experimenting with the stuff more and more. Like when this started working out over here, this wall with the glass paneling, when it started working out, I was like, oh wow, you know what? I really like that. It's not perfect. It needs some tweaking. It needs some working. I want to figure out how to make this, you know, work a little bit better and figure out how this stuff happens. I need to figure out how we cut off over here. This still, you know, it still needs some work, but overall pretty pleased with the direction it's heading in. Overall pleased with the kind of connections we're making as well with regards to the cultural and you know, folklore stuff that I'm sure I talked about during the time lapse. But yeah, definitely still needs some work. A big part of the stopping point as well. I probably could have spent more time on that time lapse, but this episode is likely already running pretty late as far as the release is concerned. And I'm always okay with like maybe an hour here at most, or maybe an hour and a half at most, but this one might already be running a significant bit later than that. And I apologize for that if that is the case, but as I look over at the time now after the time lapse, it's just like, ooh, it's not gonna render and upload in time. So I had to unfortunately cut myself short there, but again, fortunately, like I was kind of alluding to earlier, yeah, next session, we're doing a little beauty pass and everything associated with that. The session after that, we're actually going to be right in here. And my plan is the session after that one, we're going to cap this entire space off. So it's going to work out perfectly as far as productivity, like maintaining our ratio of like productivity to timelines, I guess is the way to put it. And yeah, really excited for how the space is coming together. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the animal trading options over here. Let's see if we cannot pick up a male bonobo. Excellent. What do we got over here? We got some decent stats. Maybe I need to look at the male specifically before I get pulled away and pick up a female by mistake. I mean, this guy's not looking too shabby. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. He is also not bad. The C is a fair bit cheaper. But BBM A514 is better. So Gold Star Parks Thank you very much for the bonobo. Sure, we'll give him a wonderful new home. I'm curious what BBM A514 means. It's obviously a categorization method, but I wonder if it isn't somebody. Just curious. Maybe it's one of you, but I'm just curious. It feels like that's a kind of like a. It feels almost like a lab name, you know. So I wonder if there's like a bit of role play going on at Gold Star Parks with regards to the rescues or like tagging or something. I'm very curious about that name. We will be renaming the bonobo. I will take a look at some potential alternate fitting names, and I'll get one in there. But I am curious about that past. Let's go ahead and get you over to our quarantine as well, up over here. And as I do that, if I can just get to the quarantine, there we go. As I get you in, yeah, almost put you in the wrong spot there. Into the quarantine, right? Let's go ahead and hit play. The time move forward over here, and actually get those animals in. Now, one thing that was suggested. Let's take a quick look at our. Damn, turned away just before I could get in there. They seem to be having a moment. I was asked how the lions are doing now that we have a new alpha male. Seems like they're working out pretty well. Are you about to? Dude, I love this. I love this so much. Yes, yes, yes. It's one of my favorite animations. I love it. Oh, it's so fun to see them play. It's so fun to see them play. I wanted to get the camera around, but I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get it there smoothly, and we'd miss out on everything. I love that animation, especially this side of it when he topples over with the tail. Oh, so good, so good. Look at that. I actually this is an instance where I actually quite enjoy the long grass. Good stuff. But yeah, these guys are doing pretty well. And also, yeah, we didn't actually, and I apologize for this, but we didn't really spend too much time with these beauties. Let's go ahead and dive on in here with them. They are such cuties, though, and they get a decent crowd as well. I'm very happy with how Lontra Lagoon here has worked out. It's just like, you know, there was an empty space in the zoo. There was an opportunity. There was a great suggestion. There was you know, this beautiful little space that came out of it. It was supposed to be. It was never part of the plan. It evolved into a really nice space, and I'm really quite pleased with it. The animals seem to be enjoying it. The crowds are coming through it as well. It serves a functional purpose as well. And oh god, this place finally got decorated as well. Oh, how many episodes was this thing just sitting here? Can you imagine being a staff member, chilling up over here? This is pretty great. I'm really pleased with this space. I'm really pleased with this space. But potentially one of my favorites. It's so hard to pick. There's so many favorites for so many different reasons. But yeah, like the waterfalls over here and everything. Yeah, god, I really quite like that space. And it's so just like, it's tucked away. And like I was saying, it also serves that function, right? It allows people to come up over here. I'm really pleased with how that worked out. Really pleased. Crowds over here seem to finally be thinning, which is nice to see. I feel, you know, I actually... Oh, I'm gonna use the stairs as always a joy. I wonder if that was a big part of the frame rate drop. Like, we're still not running a smooth 60 right now, for sure, but it is better than last time. And I wonder if it's because the game was trying to figure out how to navigate this space over here. Might be. It also looks like I might need a washroom up over here. I guess at least a couple of people who are in need desperately of a washroom, which tells me that this is often a hot spot, or a cold spot, or a warm spot. Oh, I kind of wish I hadn't said that. Let's go ahead and get the block in here. I think I should be able to fit one in here. We've got one that's like just up the way. Yeah, the path's not going to connect, is it? Isn't it? Yeah. That's the struggle here. The closest toilet block is not that far away. It's right up over here. But maybe that's not enough. You can see it is a fairly active one. Something to think about. But I don't want to ruin the... I quite like how that space looks and feels and works, so I don't want to make sure... I want to make sure I don't, like, ruin it, you know? Alright. Yeah. Both a baby and... First, let's get Monaro, who I'm pretty sure is destined for Kangaroo Kuyang over here. And then let's go ahead and get a baby and BBM A514 over to our bonobo enclosure. There we go. And of course, we're going to need a name. So if you have any name suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I will be picking one out. I'll probably get the name in at the same time as we get this entire space done, like that cap off session, or maybe I'll do it next time because we are doing a beauty pass. I'll see what where my mind's at when the time comes. But let's go ahead and get these guys in here and see if we're able to hold them in. That's my big concern as well. Like, in theory, this should work. In theory, this should work. In theory, this should work. However, it might not. Like, they shouldn't even be able to get up over here, which is why I'm not too worried about sealing this area off. We'll do that with the next addition up over here. But I really hope that we are we're not. I don't know. They can jump, obviously, right? So they might be able to go from down over here to up over here, and that's a concern. So I'll have to, like, build this wall up as well. I'd rather not, but if I have to, I have to, of course. We'll see. And then, of course, I do also want to get donation bins and stuff like that up, too. Things are looking pretty good. We're about to hit that 4 million mark as well. I don't think we've hit the 4 million mark before. We're about to hit it right now. Seems to be the case. What do we got over here for vet research? Hippo, the pygmy hippo is, seen some progress made. Yeah, see, we have 3 vets right now going around and helping animals in sort of like making sure they're not ill and things like that. But the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vets who are doing research are all doing it out of one spot. They don't have any zones, like work zones, assigned to them. You know what? Why talk about it? Why not just do it? What is it? Research center. Yeah. I could just pop you down up over here. Got space for it. I'm trying to find like a nice spot, I suppose. Hook you up to this group. Pop you down over here. It's a little out of the way. I think I quite like that. Come on. There we go. Over here. Of course, got to get that path connection. There. And hopefully that'll alleviate some of the stress. Not just alleviate some of the stress, but what's the word I'm looking for? Speed up the research as well. Now this is problematic. Where are we? An infertile alpha. Okay, Penda. This is the worst time for this to happen because the community challenge is still ongoing. It has been a success. Community challenge is still ongoing, but I don't want to just like toss her for an achievement we've already hit. You know, this just feels bad. So let her live her last few days over here as well. She's old. I'm not you know. Let her live. I feel like we're all on the same page there. But let me know. Zabulani, our vet, needs to be called to escort this lovely beast. Who's of course you gotta be right. Get you out of here, buddy. Fell from a great height, much like the koalas tend to. That's sad. What a beautiful I know we could probably do more here in terms of like make it a bit busier, but I quite like that it's and you can just see. It's like, look at that. Look at that, right? Am I the only one who feels this way? Just to be able to clearly see and point and just, yeah, I quite like it as an open space. And it's nice to see people over here as well. A lot more people than usual. And this space up over here as well has seen a lot of action lately. It's so pleasing to see the crowds move around and just engage with the space. So pleasing. All right. Where are my... Guys gotta take some time to get over here, aren't they? I guess they've got a long way to go. The crowd's building up, good bit of movement. Getting a baby Baird's tape here, excellent. We spent some time with a baby cheetah, but you know what? Let's see it in motion too. Where you at, buddy? Oh, we got 2 of them. And a great point was made in the comments. This is why I always say, I read all the comments and I love the feedback. I really, really do. It really helps me go, oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Or, oh, I see what I need to change. For example, we've not... This is great. We came here at a great time. It's been a while since we've come through and gone like, let's take a look at our new babies and take a look at their amazing stats and celebrate our new births, right? And it's something that we used to do a lot of, and I really enjoyed doing it. Oh my God, these stats are amazing! What a great time to return to that habit. But it's something I really enjoy doing, and I really want to keep doing. But I just didn't realize that I'd stop doing it. It's one of those funny things that just kind of happens when new habits build without realizing it. I'd gotten into this habit of being like, okay, cool, yeah, new babies, great. Okay, we should Okay. Get the vet over here to check on your eyes. But yeah, I kind of got into a new habit, and it wasn't one from, like, I wouldn't call it like negligence or anything like that. It was just like, okay, cool, yeah, we had babies, let's watch the babies, okay, cool, let's move on. And somehow this habit came about of, like, nice, there we go, that's a good hit. Of not looking at their stats, and I quite like doing that. And in the previous session's comments, I believe it was mentioned, it's like, yeah, I miss that we used to do that, and I was like, I do too, why did I ever stop? So that's what I say, you know, if you have any thoughts, any opinions, any feelings, anything you miss, anything you wish, let me know, because it does make an impact, and I hope that comes across, that it makes an impact in just how I go about things on the channel. Buddy over here making an impact on the zoo right now. Of course, it's got to be sunset. Look, okay, listen, I don't normally do this. But I think given what I was mentioning earlier about circumstances with time and all that, I think we would all be, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we'd all be pretty happy if we could just see this lovely bonobo in some good lighting. There we go. Look at that. Serious guys. Oh, I love these guys. Oh, look at that. You see the skin stretch? Get underneath here. Oh, yeah, okay, nice, excellent, excellent. I love it. Okay, cool. I'm glad they're using this space. I definitely want them up here. I think it's a great space for them to be in. Up over here. How you doing, buddy? Look at that. No. So fast. Oh, look at that. So fast. I love this. Yeah, see, they're jumpers, too. Just fascinating things. Is this their first meeting? Of course. Sorry, I sometimes I just go quiet and I want to get all the sounds in and stuff. Grooming time? Maybe? Oh, yes. Yes! I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. I'm so happy we were able to catch this moment. Oh, they're so good. Such a pleasure to just see the animals in action for the first time, you know? Just to get those moments in there. They seem to be enjoying their space, but let's make it official. Let's make it official, right? Let's take a look over here. So you are pleased overall. Terrain is good, not great. I might move some of these trees around and give them some more space. I think that's what I need to do to give them some more space. Because the moment they have offspring, it's going to be a problem. We could give some more climbable areas as well. Sure. Loving the terrain. That's good. Some of the ivy they're not too happy about, but it's not making them so upset that it's going to affect anything. I might consider removing it. They do need another adult, so we should probably get that figured out. Make sure they're having a good time. I'm just so distracted by how fun they are. Mirrored animations over here. What are the chances? Is there a good male out there? Good fertility on you. Animal welfare problems. Oh, I think I know what's happened over here. These guys are stuck up here, aren't they? I think that'll do the trick. Why are you... guys just jealous? Should be able to move around, should be able to get water. Like, they shouldn't be having these issues, but I'm getting a little concerned at the moment. You can see they're able to get into the water over here. They're just, what, choosing not to? Force you down. Okay, you're moving. Good. You're fine. It was just the one. Okay. I guess that was the problem, just the one. Okay, right, back over here. Do we have... Whoops, that was a mistake. More progress on these guys. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to go over to animal trading. My apologies. I don't think we have any options with really good stats over here. I wonder if a little bit of patience right now will pay off significantly, you know, soon. Masamba here is not bad, but I think we hold off maybe. And yeah, I do want to make sure we make some room over here for... Uh-oh. Okay. We'll make some room over here for the addition before we make the addition, right? Gotta move some trees around, maybe even adjust how much water we have over here. Or how much, like where the cutoff point is. Looks like we have no escape routes, so that's good to see. All well contained. Beautiful. I love when that works out. Yeah, looking good, looking good. No escape routes. Beauty. I mean, we'll see if that remains true when the babies come through, obviously. But overall, pretty pleased. Where'd you guys go? There you are. Whoa. Alright, cool. They're having a good time. I mean, again, I could get rid of this tree. Again, they can't climb the strangler fig trees, so that's why I have so many of them, so they can't use them as escapes. Maybe I'll move them around, make them a bit more densely packed or something, so there's more empty terrain for them to walk around in. Because again, if we take a look at... oh no. So much going on. Yeah, you can see how much gets blocked off, right? And we can even smooth this out to make that traversable. Hang on. Patrick. Not leave us like this. Let's say our farewells. Always sad to see them go. I do need to... It's always so difficult for me. I do need to revisit the dingoes and the painted dogs. I need to reassess the situation because we are getting to that point where our packs are no longer going to grow because I'm being so particular about holding on to animals. I need to go back in and I need to change that. Stop your inbreeding, right? I believe I just did. Unless we have two of the same name. Yeah, I did stop it. Cool. Excellent. Alright, I'm pretty pleased with how this space is working out. I really hope that the guests are going to enjoy it as well. Ooh, are you going to play with this thing? Notifications, they don't stop. Okay, that's Patrick, okay. Good. Playtime? I really want to see these guys solve these puzzles and stuff. Oh, nope. Alright. Fine, you do your thing, buddy. They like to, like, do this, like, kneeling, sitting thing a lot, eh? Were you just... You were, weren't you? Okay, well, that's why. Fine, be that way. Look at that, like, swagger in his step. It is great, they're able to get down over here as well. I was hoping this would be used as hard shelter. Danger sound was escaped. Oh, I see what's happened here. You've come through over here, right? Yeah. He's not dangerous. Look at him, he's a cutie. He is a cutie. Actually, saying cutie reminds me. I apologize, this might be a little out of left field. But there's, if you check out the website, the channel website, there's some new swag that y'all might like if you've been following Planet Zoo for a very long time, especially. Or perhaps not, even if you're a new addition to the family, as it were. There is some stuff that I think you might enjoy on that on the website, on the merch store. I try not to like mention that stuff too much, but when I genuinely feel like people might enjoy some of the stuff out there, I feel like that's a fitting thing to mention. I kind of want to do rocks down here, actually, if I think about it. Go ahead and get some rocks. Tropical rocks. For tropical space. Not going to be too particular about this right now. We'll come through and maybe finesse this afterwards, but I just want to prevent any escapes. They're not really problematic escapes because they can't really get anywhere, but in fact, what I might even do is I might even pull the barrier back as opposed to put those rocks down. We'll see. We'll deal with that. I think that should do the trick for now, though. These guys go. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. I love seeing them run across this thing. I'm so pleased to see them use this because I was really hoping to see them come up here, get food up over here, and that's why I made this connection as well, so that their keepers will be able to come up over here, drop off food. I really quite like this space. I'm glad they have their home near the solar panel. Again, I'm sure, I hope at least I've explained that during the time lapse. Really quite pleased with this. Really quite pleased with this. But folks, whoa. Really quite excitable animals, aren't they? I do think it is time to call it a session. Because we've done all we can today, and I would like to get this in front of your eyes, because I'm really quite pleased with where we are right now. Next session is going to be a fun one. I'm going to, again, let me know your thoughts about a tour. I'm personally leaning towards not doing a full tour next session, just because I feel like we've done some recently. We do some at the beginning of every session. Yeah, they're mini tours, and it's a little different. So I totally understand if by and large, folks want to see another tour. But I'm leaning towards not doing a tour so we can make more progress with regards to, management stuff, getting a new animal in there, all that kind of stuff. Because remember, there's still a lot to do in this zoo, and I want to make sure we maintain our pace. I like the momentum we're picking up, making some progress up over here. Nice as well, just how this space is getting filled in and coming together. Exciting times ahead, folks. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, how I go about doing it, and it does make a massive difference as well to the, just approach I take, as well as I was mentioning earlier. With that said, of course, on the topic of massive things, a massive thanks to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.